When I first started this trial, I was a wreck. I'd been losing my hair for years, and it was really taking a toll on my self-esteem. I felt like I was aging faster than I should, like my body was betraying me. I was skeptical that anything could really help, but I was desperate. The first day, they took photos of my scalp, and I remember feeling embarrassed, exposed. But they explained that it is not going to be any sort of medication, painful treatments, or any sort of dangerous surgery. They made me feel at ease. And I was surprised to learn how easy, safe, and simple this method actually is. They explained the science behind this, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a glimmer of hope. I still get emotional when I look at these photos. The difference is night and day, but it's not just about the hair, you know? It's about how I feel, how I carry myself. Halfway through the trial, I started noticing changes. My hair felt thicker, healthier. I found myself checking my reflection more often, not out of fear, but out of excitement. And then one day, my wife looked at me and said, "Wow, you look so young and handsome." That's when it really hit me. This wasn't just about hair, it was about reclaiming my vitality, my confidence. By the end of the trial, I felt like a new man. I was ready to take on the world. And now, every time someone compliments my hair, I think back to those early days when I started using this method, and I'm just so grateful. This didn't just change my hair, it changed my life.
George's candid testimonial takes us behind the scenes of the clinical trial. From the initial embarrassment and skepticism, to the glimmer of hope that came with understanding the science behind this incredible hair restoration method. His words are certain. The excitement of noticing the first changes, the boost in self-esteem as his hair grew thicker and healthier, the way his confidence soared as he started to look and feel younger. But perhaps the most moving part of George's journey is the realization that this was about so much more than just hair. As he puts it, "This didn't just change my hair, it changed my life." And that's the real promise of this groundbreaking, yet simple method. It's not just about turning back the clock on your hairline. It's about turning back the clock on how you feel, how you see yourself, how you approach the world. Imagine going through that same transformative journey. Imagine letting go of your insecurity and doubt along with the thinning hair. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing not just a fuller head of hair, but a fuller, more vibrant version of yourself. Through sleepless nights and exhaustive research, we discovered this exact method. And it's so revolutionary. It promises to redefine everything we thought we knew about hair loss and regeneration. After meticulous analysis and employing cutting-edge techniques to identify early signs of hair follicle aging, we've discovered a groundbreaking approach, backed by years of scientific research, to not just halt hair thinning, but to regenerate hair with a vitality and fullness that many thought was lost forever. That's the gift George and other 30,000 participants received, and it's a gift that's now available to you. And the beauty of it? It's completely natural, astonishingly simple, and more cost-effective than your monthly haircut. From the comfort of your own home, you can begin a journey to restore your hair to its natural glory. This is your chance to not just be an observer of George's incredible story, but to become the hero of your own hair restoration journey. In the next 5 minutes, I'll guide you through how you can replicate his success and regain not just your hair, but your confidence and youthfulness too. But you might wonder, why hasn't this been front-page news? The truth is, groundbreaking discoveries like ours face a mountain of bureaucratic red tape. Big Pharma, with its endless appetite for profit over cure, has gone to great lengths to suppress research that can genuinely solve hair loss permanently. They'd rather sell you temporary fixes than let you discover a lifelong solution. With millions suffering from hair loss, waiting wasn't an option for us. We knew we had developed a solution that worked, even for those who had given up hope after decades of failed treatments. So, I urge you to stay with me for this life-changing presentation. Today, you'll learn the true origins of hair thinning, and how this potent method can not only stop hair loss in its tracks, but also trigger natural, robust hair growth. And it works incredibly well for everybody. Men and women, 20 or 90 years old, with falling hair for the past 7 days or bald spots in the past 30 years. You'll see how this method nourishes your scalp at the cellular level, leading to a revitalization of your hair's natural growth processes. But before I tell you everything, I hope you won't mind if I tell you why I care so deeply about helping you get your hair and your unique identity back. As I said, my name is David Towner. I'm 54 years old and I live near Denver, Colorado with my wife Emma and our 2 beautiful children. In my career, I worked as a bacteriologist at one of the top microbiology institutes in the country for over 25 years. My job here, besides assisting the development of some of the most important ideas in the field of microbiology, over the years included managing and conducting the Institute's main research about the dangers of skin and hair transplants and how bacteria can affect general health in the long term. During my long career, I've worked closely with some of the most renowned doctors and health specialists in the world. This allowed me to witness tremendous medical breakthroughs and incredible treatments being born. Yet nothing matches the hair growth secret I'm going to share with you. I admit it, I didn't always have the thickest hair. And sure, over the years, I lost a hair or two occasionally. But 2 years ago, it all started all of a sudden. One morning, I woke up with a few hairs on my pillow. At first, I didn't panic, but little did I know it was only the first sign that was announcing the disaster about to happen in my life. Every day, more and more hair was falling out. It was literally everywhere in my house, on the bed, in the sink. I'm not even going to mention the comb. Never ever did I experience something like this. My hairline started receding within a week, and I started to freak out. And let me tell you, even though people and doctors think that a widow's peak is something common, and absolutely all men get them eventually, you should know it's not a normal thing to happen, and should not happen to anyone. As for me, I was going bald, and I had no idea why. In just a couple of weeks, my life turned into a living hell. One day when I was getting ready to pick up my wife from the airport, I noticed a lot more hair than normal falling out while combing. At that point, I grabbed a hand mirror and took a look at the top of my head. I was shocked to see a huge bald spot. The more I touched my head, the more hair fell out. My wife had the same reaction when she saw me at the airport. She was away only for 5 days, and it was like I had aged 3 years by the time she came back home. I tried not to be dramatic about this, but the truth is, I could barely hold back my anger and shame. Unfortunately, this can happen to literally anyone, no matter if you're a man or woman, your age, or overall health. For me, it was only week 3 since my hair started falling out. Yet, when I thought things couldn't get worse, the only hair I had left was graying up at what seemed like the speed of light. Absolutely no one I knew had gray hair at my age, even though I did, let alone both gray hair and extreme hair loss. Something was definitely wrong. At the end of just 1 month, I ended up having only half of the hair I had started with. Depressed, helpless, and clueless. So I decided to go see a doctor. Now, since I had a lot of friends in the pharmaceutical industry, I managed to get an appointment with one of the top hair specialists in the state. After performing a complete set of rigorous tests on me like scalp scan, TIBC, VDRL, I even saw a skin doctor. The only thing they found was that my biotin levels were extremely low, but they couldn't justify the cause of it. Listen, David, a lot of people have crossed my doorstep, but in all my 30 years of treating hair problems, I have never witnessed something quite like this. Almost 40% of Americans now suffer from hair loss. This percentage doubled in the last 10 years. It's like an epidemic, the doctor told me. Take these pills and go home. There's really nothing else I can do for you, he added, shrugging his shoulders. If not even the best doctor with multiple awards and findings couldn't help me, it only meant one thing. From now on, I was on my own. Now, there was a question that kept popping up in my head. Why do some men and women in their 80s have luxurious, thick hair, while other people start balding in their 20s? If you think about it, I'm not the only one who has spotted senior folks with the best hair in the room, but also young men and women with severe hair loss. Not to mention no one else in my family nor Emma's was dealing with this except for me. My brother, my father, both my brothers-in-law, all of them had fantastic healthy hair. I just couldn't wrap my head around this glitch I'd seemed to have in my system. So as soon as I got home, I started reading everything I could find available regarding hair loss. Thanks to my job, I had access to a lot of privileged information that's not common knowledge. Now, I'll admit, what I found annoyed me. Doctors throughout most of the medical community said that balding and all types of hair loss comes from genes, precarious lifestyle habits, and age. But how are all these even connected to a problem like this? This is a question I've been trying to answer for years, and nobody seemed to know the answer. Many of us, including myself, had a pretty healthy and decent lifestyle. I loved my job. I would rarely be stressed or anxious, and I've seen friends of mine with severe panic attacks, and yet their hair is thicker today than a lion's mane. But 2 years went by, and in all that time my hair didn't stop falling out. not for one single day. In fact, I almost had hardly any more hair to lose. My head was shining like a clean bowling ball. I checked every single remedy I could possibly find. I tried a couple things like ketoconazole shampoo, minoxidil, even finasteride. Useless products that only made me lose time and money. I tried behavioral therapies, herbal remedies, acupuncture. Some gave me a temporary sense of hair growth, but had zero effect in the long run. I was exhausted and frustrated that nothing I had done could help me. And if it wasn't enough, my life really turned into my darkest nightmare. 2 years ago, I was given an incredible task by my employer to research and present a study that shows the adverse effects of hair transplants. It took me a whole year and a lot of study, and even though I already had a lot of knowledge in the area from my own hair loss, I found some shocking things regarding hair transplantation and why no one ever should do it if they care about their health. It is the reason why I never got a hair transplant, seeing the horrid side effects it brings with it. Scalp infections, itching, swelling, inflammation, bleeding, losing sensation around the implant areas, and so on. Now, the project I conducted was going to be presented at our yearly worldwide congress addressing hair loss issues. Some of the most renowned doctors and hair care specialists from 80 countries were going to be there at the event. But 20 minutes before the event, I overheard one committee member talking. "Have you seen David's head? He's almost fully bald. Imagine how it would look if he's actually holding a presentation about hair transplants. Everybody will think this is a joke." "You're right. We need someone else quickly," the other man shouted. My jaw dropped when I listened to these words. I stormed out of the building with anger and almost in tears. But I was going to end my balding for good. Now, I'm not proud of what happened next, but I warn you, the following story may be sensitive. I drove like a maniac to the nearest grocery store, almost crashing into a few cars. All my rationament vanished, and I had only one purpose stuck in my head, to get my hair back by any means, only to return back to the Congress just in time to prove everyone wrong. I didn't want to let my hair loss problem take away the only chance I had to raise awareness about the major problems that hair transplants bring to the worldwide medical field community. So I glued a wig to my head with the strongest industrial glue I found in the store. As I was making my way up to the stage, with a head full of hair and ready to silence the voices of those people who had been talking about me, everyone from my institute was looking at me in shock. But no more than 3 minutes into my presentation, the burning sensation started. My head was topped by a raging inferno and insupportable itching. Instantly, I felt the glue boiling on my scalp. I tried to rip the wig off my head, but it was too late. The glue had already dried, and I started screaming my lungs out of the pain. It was like I was on fire. Then, all of a sudden, my legs turned to jelly, and I collapsed on the floor. Fortunately, someone from the audience overcame their horror enough to call an ambulance for me. Every second passing by felt like hell on earth. I couldn't move, and I kept trying to rip the wig off my head. And while everyone saw me acting like a maniac, no one dared to come close to me until the paramedics finally arrived. But when they came to check on me, they couldn't help but notice my little secret. "I can't believe it. This guy has a wig glued to his head," the paramedic almost shouted, trying to mask his laughter. Everyone heard that, as the stage was filled with microphones. The entire stage and no less than 500 people in the audience started laughing frantically as I lost my consciousness. Never ever in my entire life I felt more humiliated than that day. I got to the hospital with severe burns, which seemed to intensify 10 times every minute, as the wig and the offending glue was still attached to my head. A few hours later, things hadn't gotten any better. They couldn't safely remove the wig off my head. The glue was too strong, and it had already eaten its way deep into my skin. The doctor came in, and the blood froze in my veins when he said that they had to cut my scalp off to remove the wig, or I risked dying from a severe infection. Every single hour after was a race against the clock, and honestly, I was that close to losing my scalp. It was only by a miracle that they found a matching solvent, just in time to melt all the glue from my head. But when they took it off, my head looked like it was covered in fresh lava, and honestly, it felt the same way. The only reason I didn't make it to the newspaper's headlines is because the Institute and the Medical Congress. But that wasn't a favor for me. They cared more about their reputation than my health and dignity. After what happened, my wife was afraid to come and visit me. Eventually she did 4 days later, but only to express her disappointment in me. "Are you out of your mind, David? What were you thinking? Jimmy and Alice don't even want to see you anymore," she said in anger. Now, I'll never forgive myself for having my family and myself go through all this, but I couldn't live one more minute like that. And after all these years, I still had found nothing that could help me. It seemed that modern medicine had just abandoned all hope, leaving millions of suffering people at the mercy of this debilitating disease. Hair loss affects nearly 50 million people in the U.S. alone, and more than 700 million worldwide. That's 10% of the total population of this planet. We're facing a rising epidemic, and yet Big Pharma leaves its victims with little to no support, and even fewer options. It made me mad just to think of the billions of dollars spent every year by these greedy pharma corporations to promote their shady practices. Yet not a single dime on finding a real solution for hair loss. I spent day and night researching on every corner of the internet. I read every major medical journal and every publication related to hair loss, going back at least 5 years. I interviewed doctors, medical experts, professors, and even my own students. And believe it or not, what I came across the very next morning was going to completely change my life and the lives of over 154,000 men and women who, just like me, got their dignity and hair back. The first breakthrough study came from the National Library of Medicine. These brilliant researchers wondered if there was any way that hair loss is linked to something other than age, genetics, or lifestyle. So, in order to confirm their theory, they closely analyzed 100 subjects of different ages, lifestyles, and medical history. What was really interesting was that half of them had perfect hair, while the others were suffering from hair loss. This experiment was meant to finally find the real culprit behind this affection, but it showed clearly that baldness and other hair loss problems have nothing to do with genes, age, or habits in particular. But in fact, it goes beyond that. Now, I was extremely puzzled, but I still didn't understand why people with perfectly healthy bodies were still hit by this anomaly. So I kept looking. Some studies suggested that a possible problem that is causing hair loss is the hormonal malfunction of the organism, while others claimed it is triggered by microscopic intruders. But something didn't make sense. If it is so, then why can't hormonal regulators and antibiotics take care of the problem? That's when I stumbled upon a breakthrough study proving that the entire process of hair loss and its consequences on the body is actually linked to the gut, the home of trillions of microorganisms. I was soon about to make the discovery that would change my entire life. The next morning, I came across a study that made it all clear and made me understand what exactly happens inside your gut that induces hair loss. It was an extensive paper published in the Science Nordic. Danish scientists found that a malfunction in the gut is responsible for hair loss and balding. The system, which they have recently proved, is an aggregate of bad microbiota, including all bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protozoa that the human body is not able to flush out. Now, the gut plays an important role in metabolizing various essential vitamins, including those that support the growth of hair, such as biotin. Biotin forms the basic building block for our hair. Bad microbiota, including bacteria and fungi like Microsporum aduawini, Microsporum gypsum, Trichophyton tonsurans, Pydria horti, Trichosporin bageli, Pityrosporum ovale, Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Way too many to be even counted. Now imagine trying to treat each of them with a specific antibiotic, or even worse, some sort of useless shampoo that can't even reach the gut. Besides, it's physically impossible to take hundreds of pills for each intruder in your gut. Antibiotics are known for their destructive way of acting inside the body. They might kill the enemy at the moment you take them, but on the other hand, they might destroy the balance of your gut flora and thin the intestines. Basically, they create a vicious circle with no exit. And what's worse is that these intruders are everywhere around us, in our food, in the water we drink, in the air we breathe. They accumulate in the gut, where they not only eat the biotin and vitamins, weakening the hair and follicles, but also they train like a real army, and when they are ready, they dig into the intestinal wall. The result? An inflammation that ends up blocking hair production. You see, these awful tiny beings have needs too, their own food sources, and what they love the most are nutrients that the scalp and follicles cannot survive without. The hair is literally sentenced to death as the scalp becomes more and more unsuitable for sustaining it, and the follicles suffocate to death. As I sat there, surrounded by endless piles of books, medical journals, and clinical studies reports, I had a choice to make. I would either give up and my body will be toast in a few years, or I would stop sobbing and find a way to fight this disease once and for all. For me, and for the millions of hair loss sufferers out there who've been tormented enough by this debilitating disease, and I for sure didn't want to sit back and watch as the last of my precious hair faded away without doing anything to stop this. So I started calling everyone I knew. I realized that all this time I was in a better position to find an answer than anyone else I knew. Not only did I have access to an entire medical journal database that only a few people had, but thanks to my profession, I had met a lot of world-renowned researchers and doctors. And since my institute supported some of them in their careers and hosted a lot of projects and meetings, I had access to all of these experts. Now, even though there was some bad blood between me and my colleagues after my wig accident, I still had a lot of friends inside. There had to be someone that could help me, and I was going to find out. I spent an entire day interviewing some of the smartest brains in the medical world, and I'll admit, most of the advice I received wasn't new to me. Now, out of all the doctors, scientists, chemists, and professors I called, there was one person in particular who was able to provide me with real answers. I still ask myself how it is possible that he was the only one who knew these things, even though I have now verified that they are 100% true and backed by science. His name was Dr. Ben Casey. Now, Dr. Casey was a genius in every sense of the word, and I really mean genius. He's not the guy you'll see on the cover of magazines. In fact, he tries to stay away from the spotlight as much as possible. He's the one that takes the most complicated cases of hair loss, skin, and nail problems, including the ones involving celebrities, and performs miracles. His work, in every sense of the word, is impeccable. With over 25 years of experience and more than 4,900 cases, he's the one person that can save you when you're facing a terrible situation with your hair, skin, and nails. I was a little bit nervous about meeting him since he was one of the doctors that treated me while I was in the hospital. Speaking to me with his voice in a low tone, he suggested we should meet at his home, a few miles outside the city. It seemed a little odd, but to be honest, I didn't really pay attention to it. As we walked in his garden, Dr. Casey started unveiling the secret, and to be honest, it sent shivers down my spine. He handed me a framed picture. At first, I didn't understand what I was looking at. But then, after a couple of seconds, I realized it was a picture of him from almost 10 years ago. He had no hair on his head. That was the moment I knew he was going to change the course of my entire life. I was just like you, David, and I know you may have a bunch of questions now, so let me answer all of them, he said in a friendly tone. I was truly intrigued and mind-blown. He said he used to work in a private company that had an annual revenue of no less than $2 billion. He and his team were developing what should have been treatments that could end hundreds of diseases. He specialized in hair, skin, and nails. Dr. Casey finally unveiled to me the only working method to solve this debilitating affection. Unfortunately, as he proved the effectiveness of his discovery on himself, it frightened the shady interests of his employer. Next day, some guys in dark jumpsuits broke into their lab and cleared it up, just as they were about to show their big discovery to the world. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, and I hate to be a fearmonger either, but these things happen in America, as much as we'd like to try to ignore them. Dr. Casey instantly understood what was going on and realized his method would never see the light of day. The entire team was fired and threatened to never ever talk about it again, or else their lives would be at risk. "Take a look at this," said Dr. Casey, handing me the folder he was holding in his right hand. As I looked over the file, I stood there in shock. It was the exact formula they had developed behind closed doors in his laboratory. 281 pages of documented research, including clinical trial results. It had the capability to stop and fix hair loss, shield the body against bad microbiome, and help regrow every single hair follicle ever lost. It basically resets our body's natural way of producing hair. It's only logical they'd want to keep this a secret, since it gives them crucial leverage over their competitors, Dr. Casey said to me. But as he confessed to me, every time he saw another case of hair loss, he felt extremely guilty. This project was never meant to be seen by the public eye. It was supposed to be available only for a small number of people, private military corporations, contractors, elite government officials, and head of states. People who could either pull enough strings or pay obscene amounts of money to gain access to it. These people never shed a single tear thinking of the suffering of millions of people, or the fact that this debilitating disease affects 3 in 10 Americans. Innocent men and women who've done nothing wrong, on a brink of mental collapse, having to live like this. So why aren't they releasing this to the public? I shouted to Dr. Casey. But then he calmly explained it to me. In the U.S. alone, the hair loss and hair care industry is worth a staggering $10 billion. You heard it right. Why would they want to release a quick fix when they could profit for years on the frustration and humiliation of millions? Even if they eventually decide to release the solution, it will either be available only to the elites, or it will cost insane amounts of money that insurance won't cover. These people knew it very well, and I finally understood. I understood why, even though hundreds of millions suffer from hair loss, the shady big pharma hasn't moved a finger to help them. Why every clinical study that showed promising results against this frustrating affection was either halted or suppressed by the powers that be. And why not a single doctor followed up or said anything after I emailed them the 2 undeniable research papers that clearly show the real root cause of hair loss. Now let me tell you why this is the most incredible hair regrowth formula ever invented. Why krill oil, our star ingredient, contains so many nutrients that are so incredibly powerful. They not only restart the process of hair growth on your head, but also nourish your scalp and protect you from nocive microbiomes inside your gut. Over a dozen independent labs across 2 continents have tested this program on 6,200 men and women from 6 countries to make sure this program works for everyone, no matter their age, gender, or overall health. Lab tests have shown us that in order for this program to be efficient, this powerful ingredient has to be sourced in a certain way following a strict set of guidelines and conditions, and has to be in a certain quantity or will not work. Here's a short to the point explanation on how this works. Step 1. The powerful nutrients squash your gut inflammation. Remember, the root cause of your hair loss is due to a gut inflammation that's damaging the process of hair production and suffocating the existing hair. Inside the classified project files, we found that krill oil contains hundreds of anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds. The first thing you notice after these nutrients take into effect is that your hair stops falling out immediately. And that's because it's rich in omega-3. This nutrient is so powerful, it smashes microbiomes and treats the inflammation directly on the surface of your gut, as well as in hair follicles and the skin of your scalp, stopping the hair from falling out. Step 2. Your scalp becomes fertile again and skin gets rejuvenated. Finally, once inflammation is eliminated from your system, your follicles start healing and regain their strength, as well as your scalp regains its sustainability. This is due to 3 amazing nutrients. The first one is omega-6, known also as arachidonic acid. Omega-6, combined with omega-3, not only puts an end to your hair loss, but also nourishes the entire hair production system. The second one is behenic acid, which acts like a protective barrier against microbiomes in order to maintain your scalp and skin healthy. And the third one is LN9 neuronic. This compound is extremely powerful because it also strengthens your follicles and promotes the biotin and minerals to get to the hair. Step 3. The hair growth process turns to normal. This is where good things start to happen. Vitamin B12, E, A, and folate act like steroids for your hair. As you get older, your hair grays up. But these 4 ingredients supercharge the hair production, strengthen your scalp cells, and make you feel good in your skin once again. Your hair grows stronger, thicker, and returns to its natural color. Your hair will look at least 10 years younger once the inflammation is out of your system. Step 4. You shield yourself against hair loss and gut disease. Now, the entire purpose of this is not only to set people free from hair loss, but also protect their entire body against the debilitating disease on a long-term basis, and also shield it against hair problems or gut-related diseases. Stearic, palmitic, and myristic acids are extremely powerful compounds, essential for the human body. Studies have directly linked hair loss to low levels of these nutrients. Dosed in the right quantity and sourced in the right way, they will keep you safe against hair loss and gut-related diseases in the future. Step 5. Your entire health and well-being start to improve. In just weeks, you'll have brand new hair. Your affected areas will be helped. Your mind will be quiet and peaceful, and you'll be protected against falling hair. And because this blend is so powerful, every single cell of your body will start to transform and rejuvenate. Phospholipids, another miracle compound that krill oil has, not only helps you break free from bad microbiomes, but also improves brain function. Astaxanthin, a powerful molecule that's able to cross the blood-brain barrier, also protects your brain, reduces stress, boosts your immune system, and nourishes your scalp. Now, what's extremely important about this formula is that it only works in this exact quantity and with ingredients sourced from specific locations, which we managed to source based on Dr. Casey's extensive research. Product making. Now, Dr. Casey confessed to me that he just couldn't live with himself if we don't share this formula with anyone out there. And he was prepared to risk his own freedom to do it. We both were. So he helped me gain temporary access to all the classified files from his project. It was exactly what I needed to get the exact details of this formula and the way it works. We started working on it immediately. The project file stated that in order for this formula to work, the ingredients had to come from specific locations and their quality and purity had to be extremely high. Now this part was really hard. It's unbelievable how many people out there are just trying to make a quick buck by selling low-quality, cheap knockoffs. We saw it with our own eyes, because after testing several samples that came to our lab, we realized that almost all of them were filled with added chemicals which gave no natural healing properties whatsoever. Dr. Casey used all his connections to find us only certified manufacturers and verified suppliers to make sure our recipe is 100% pure and the star ingredient has the highest quality. It was an excruciating job. We worked relentlessly day and night at the lab, and in many times we would sleep there through the night. For this to be 100% effective, it had to meet 3 criteria. First, that it would work for anyone no matter how bad their hair loss was. Second, it needed to work on its own, without you having to go to the doctor or spend money on any other medication. And third, it had to shield your hair production system not just against baldness, but also hair graying and gut-related diseases. After several weeks, including many days when we wouldn't even see our families, we finally did it. Tears ran down my cheeks as I held in my hands the pills that would finally set me free from the nightmare I've been living since my youth. I couldn't wait to start. Now, for the first few days, I didn't feel any major improvements, maybe just that my scalp looked healthier and I felt my body a little bit lighter. But that could have just been my imagination. But just a few days later, something unbelievable happened. I spotted some tiny hairs sprouting up along my original hairline. Then, as days went by, more and more hair appeared on the bald areas. Shortly after that, my entire scalp was filled with strong, thick hair, as I was honestly more and more amazed and shocked. Just weeks later, I was a new person. I regrew all my hair again, and not even a single piece of it fell out during the process. And all the other microbiome systems were also gone with it. I had no more thin texture, no more gray hair. It was like my scalp and body were reborn. I will never forget that first moment of running my hand through it after so many years. I cried like a child, holding those 2 capsules that saved my hair and life in my hand, and I knew I had to share this formula with more people. So we gathered a group of 40 men and women, all hair loss sufferers from mild to severe, and some with skin and nail problems. Dr. Casey prepared the formula, gave it to all participants, and instructed them to follow the program for 30 days. Now I expected to see some results, but I sure didn't expect to see them coming in that fast. Not long after, our phones were ringing like crazy, with people crying over the phone telling us how their hair was growing more and more by the day. 100% of the participants regrew all their hair in weeks. Each one of them reported a surge in their digestive functions. They felt good overall. Their skin appearance significantly improved. None of them experienced any more stress and anxiety. In fact, many of the senior folks said that they got rid of their gray hair. It was definitely an extraordinary benefit. The formula was like a super cocktail for hair production. Seeing that, we knew we had a limited time frame to share this with everyone. So Dr. Casey and I decided to produce this supplement and share it with as many people as possible. People who want nothing more than to escape from their hair loss nightmare. We called it Folicrex, a 100% natural blend that goes directly to the root cause of your hair loss, the inflammation of your gut, scalp, and follicles. We only produce Folicrex in our FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. Every capsule of Folicrex is non-GMO and safe. This protocol is very easy to follow and is also diabetic friendly. It does not require any restrictive diets, and it does not interfere with other supplements you might be taking. This formula is more powerful than anything else in the world because it doesn't just stop your hair from falling out, but also regrows it, strengthens your scalp and follicles, and helps you shield yourself against baldness for good. It also supports healthy skin, improves your digestion, boosts your energy levels, and so much more. So you'll also be improving your overall health at the same time. By now, you're probably wondering how you can get your hands on this incredible anti-balding super capsule. You see, it's hard for me to answer this question. When we created Folicrex, we knew that in order for this formula to work, we had to source only the highest quality ingredients. We looked over 4 continents from over 24 providers until we found the right companies to work with. This makes our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. And then there's all the people who've used Folicrex and experienced hair regrowth from their lives and rejuvenated their skin and nails. They are all coming back for more. For themselves and for their families and best friends, they want to make sure we don't run out of Folicrex, and they're left out. This makes our stock run out every time a new shipment arrives. Plus, we're only able to produce Folicrex in small quantities, since finding high-quality ingredients is extremely hard. This is the only way to make sure we keep the formula 100% effective. Since you're here, your package is reserved. But if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, you should also know that Folicrex is extremely easy to use. All it takes is 10 seconds per day of your time and a big glass of water to take 1 capsule each day for at least 30 days. Of course, it really depends on what your actual goal is. If you want to decrease the risk of losing hair and nourish your scalp while you rejuvenate your skin and nails, depending on the level of intestinal inflammation, this could take around 80 days, which means 3 bottles of Folicrex. Or if you want to be completely safe, and you should know that 98% of the people who contact us go with this option, we recommend this 6-bottle package. This will help you supercharge your follicles, squash the inflammation on your gut, scalp, and follicles, regrow your hair, and protect your skin, nails, digestive system, or dangerous microbiome diseases. Of course, we cannot estimate the level of inflammation in your gut. That's why, after analyzing the results of over 154,000 men and women who've successfully used this program, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Folicrex over a period of 90 days. And if you want to be completely safe and don't take any chances, we recommend you take at least 6 bottles or more over a period of 180 days. This should be enough to 100% rejuvenate your scalp and shield you from premature baldness. This formula has already changed the lives of over 154,000 people from all over the world, and that number is increasing by the day. Derek K., 58, Pennsylvania says, I had very fine hair to begin with. After I turned 30, I began losing my hair. I stumbled upon this product and read the reviews. I decided to try it, and I am so glad I did. I am on my 2nd bottle, and I can see the new hair coming in and realize just how much I had lost. I can see and feel the difference. I highly recommend this product. I'm really excited to see my hair growing back. Paul H., 45, Oklahoma says, honestly, I was ready to sell my own house for a product like this if I had to. But lucky me, because I found this website and didn't have to do it. This is truly a miracle for me and men who struggle with balding. I can't remember a time ever when my head was so hairy, my entire body in harmony, and my overall health so good. I'm sending this to all my friends. Everyone deserves to know, and not just the ones that suffer from hair loss, because this pill does so much more for your health. Or Willie Ann, 68, Massachusetts says, I tried countless products like shampoos and conditioners, pills, even acupuncture. My wife even bought me an entire box of hats that I honestly hate to cover my head with. It was so annoying and uncomfortable. My head was sweating all the time. My life was a living hell. But not anymore. My life has completely changed, and my hair now grows stronger and denser every day. Now that I remember, I was about to quit the presentation because I was kind of skeptical. Oh boy, what a fool I could have been to miss the only chance to regrow my hair. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me regain my peace and confidence. Stories like these are incredible, and they're merely a small number of the hundreds of emails we receive every day. Tens of thousands have already regained their hair with this protocol, and all it took was just one capsule per day. It's now been proven beyond any shadow of doubt that there is no other anti-balding formula as powerful as Folicrex. Now, you need to consider your options here. You can continue living your life the way it is right now, tormented by this affection day and night, spend thousands on therapies that only provide temporary help and eventually know they'll wear off. Go to countless doctors that will continue to prescribe you useless meds and products. Doctors that blatantly ignore the root cause of your hair loss, which is an insidious inflammation of your gut spread to the scalp that's suffocating your follicles. Or maybe take the high road and get yourself hats or wigs meant to mask the bad effects of hair loss. And after a week or two, once you see how debilitating it feels wearing them, you'll end up throwing them in the garbage. Then, once you see that after all the things you've tried, nothing seems to work, you decide to pay your doctor a visit again, which not only thinks you're stressed out or even crazy, but starts prescribing you antidepressants to make you forget about your problem, because it's one more way they can make money off you. But eventually, everything else will turn out to be a big waste of time and money, and nothing will work even remotely close to Folicrex, which has the power to eliminate hair loss and bald spots off your head in just weeks from now and keep you safe from premature baldness. Now, looking at the incredible benefits that Folicrex has, you understand why I initially wanted to sell this program for $297. But while I could have easily done that, and it would still be a total steal, the truth is, neither myself nor Dr. Casey are here for the money. We're here to make an impact and to help as many people as possible to get rid of the debilitating disease that's been following them day and night. Sure, we could have just gone the easy way and accepted Big Pharma's greedy money, let them suppress one more incredible solution, and probably retire on some exotic island. But here's the thing. I know how horrible it is to watch your hair helplessly fall out, and I don't want anyone else to go through what I've gone through myself, because this terrible disease can ruin your life, even though you can't even see it coming. Now, I cannot change the past, but I can give you the most powerful weapon in the world to change your future. The key to eradicate balding from your life. And because I want price to be the last thing you consider when taking advantage of this incredible solution, today you have the chance to get rid of the horrible consequences of balding. Protect yourself against bacteria, viruses, and fungus that damage your scalp, skin, and hair follicles, and fully regrow all your hair for just $69. Only if you act today through this website. And because I know how it feels to look older than your actual age, or to be ditched by women relentlessly, after talking to our manufacturing partner, they allowed us to give a discount on the 6-bottle package of Folicrex. So while you're on this page right now and select your package in the next 30 minutes, you can get Folicrex for only $49 per bottle and also get free shipping from us for as long as we have the formula in stock. So select the 6-bottle package or any other package you want. See if Folicrex is currently available and join the 154,000 happy men and women who have now escaped from the shackles of this debilitating disease. Consider this just a small but powerful investment that you can do for yourself today. Tens of thousands of people are already living proof that Folicrex will absolutely change your life. It's safe to say that a bottle of Folicrex will clear your scalp from these insidious intruders. 3 bottles of Folicrex will also strengthen your hair follicles, nourish your scalp, and get rid of hair loss on long term. But there is a reason why 98% of our users choose the 6 bottles package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 6 months from now, you'll restore your hair completely. You'll shield yourself from baldness for good. And it will make you immune against balding no matter how advanced it has gotten. Many years will pass from now, and your hair will stay as strong as in your youth. You'll be able to enjoy every moment of dense hair, even in your late 90s. Now, if this sounds good to you, look below the video now. Make the right choice for you and your loved ones and choose the package you want below immediately. Once you order, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page where you can fill out your payment details using a credit or debit card. Our checkout is 100% secure. We use the same technology that all major banks do, and the entire process takes less than a minute. Shortly after you fill in your information and confirm your order, your package of Folicrex will be shipped to your doorstep. And remember, you get free shipping with every purchase you make today. But you have to hurry. It's the only way to secure your order while the supply lasts. You risk absolutely nothing because you are covered by our 60-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. It's simple. Select one of the packages and hit the buy button now. Try this powerful formula. Watch as your hair regrows until your head is completely full, and see how good it feels to run your fingers through it every day. See how amazing it is to be stress and worry-free, to regain your happiness and joy for life. No more hair on the comb, no more hats, no more anxiety, no more nightmares. Just strong and beautiful hair that you regain as the other 154,000 men and women from all over the world have done it before you. Enjoy all this, and after 2 months, if you're not satisfied with the results, even if you've used up the entire bottle, send us an email and we'll refund every penny back. No questions asked. You have 2 full months to try Folicrex and see the amazing results for yourself. All you have to do is claim your discount, select one of the packages below, and take advantage of this amazing deal. We'll cover 100% of the shipping costs and make sure Folicrex is delivered straight to your doorstep in just a few days from now. But I urge you to act now. We are currently overwhelmed by the number of orders, which makes our ability to restock extremely hard, since we only work with the highest quality ingredients. When you choose the 3 or the 6 bottle package, you get Folicrex for even cheaper. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to last. We might be forced to raise the price very soon, so please do not miss your chance to get this amazing formula at an even lower price. Select the 3 or the 6 bottle package or any other package you want and break free from hair loss today. Be another success story that Folicrex brings to the world. Now, there's something else you should know. I've made a lot of enemies by posting this protocol online. Dr. Casey has already started receiving threats of litigation if we don't take this down immediately. So the next time my phone rings and we're forced to take this protocol down, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you anymore. Because here's the thing. Big Pharma's strategy is to keep you their customer for life. Otherwise, they would have already offered the solution for something as common as hair loss. Almost 600 million people worldwide suffer from this debilitating disease. And it's not like it has been around for only a few years. But why offer a solution when you can keep milking the cash cow for years? So you can imagine they will pull every dirty trick in the book to keep you from seeing this. That's why I urge you to take advantage of this while you still can. And even if you somehow feel you've tried everything and don't know what to say, just picture this. In a year from now, when you look at your life, what's going to change? You'll remember this moment, and when you try to come back, this website will be off for good. The truth is, you only have 2 options. Option number 1, you could leave this page and act like nothing happened. Ignore this powerful solution, all the groundbreaking research, and the tens of thousands of men and women standing behind its incredible results. Continue to be trapped with this debilitating affection on your head. Waste thousands of dollars on useless therapies that ultimately fail you one by one, knowing that you'll never get rid of this disease this way. This may sound familiar, and I think you already know what will happen if you go down this road. You can feel it growing inside you. The hopelessness, the exhaustion, the endless anger, stress, and anxiety. I know you don't want that, but why go down this road when you can choose option number 2? And let's be honest, it's the only one worth considering. You can stop the balding process that's been ruining your life and click on the buy button below now. Secure your order and be one more success story that Folicrex brings into the world. So go ahead and select your package, then hit the button below. You are 100% covered by our 60-day money-back guarantee, which means you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Try Folicrex and see the amazing benefits it has to offer. Still here? No worries, I understand, especially given the incredible hair loss secret that I've revealed in this presentation. So let's answer some of the most important questions we receive about Folicrex, so you can go ahead and hit the buy button below with full confidence. Question 1. How does Folicrex work? Clinical studies have shown that hair loss is not related to age or genes, but with an insidious inflammation happening inside your guts at this very moment. Sadly, gut-related diseases like SIBO, gallstones, GERD, and many other dangerous ones start with this inflammation. Your hair loss is the red flag of something much worse that's yet to come. Here's a short to the point explanation on how this formula works. Step 1. Selected nutrients squash your gut inflammation. Remember, the root cause of your hair loss is due to a gut inflammation that's damaging your hair growth system and causes you to lose high amounts of hair in certain areas or on the entire head. Inside the classified project files, we found that the only known way to achieve this is by consuming a top quality type of krill oil that contains over 28 organic compounds. The first thing you notice after these nutrients take into effect is the immediate pausing and reversing your hair loss. Omega-3 and omega-6 are powerful nutrients that mixed together treat inflammation directly on your gut and scalp cells so they stop suffocating, which results in hair growth. And while these compounds are found in over 200 sources like plants and fruits, only the krill oil ones can stop the inflammatory process in your gut. Step 2. The hair production is boosted by 300%. Finally, once inflammation is eliminated from your gut, your scalp cells start to heal and regain their strength, as well as your bloodstream rejuvenates and allows new strong hair to grow. Step 3. Your scalp and hair are rejuvenated and strong. This is where good things start to happen. Your look becomes better, more clearly defined, and younger. Your entire body is now 10 years younger since the bad microbiome is out of your system. Step 4. You shield yourself against hair loss and memory disease. Now, the entire purpose of this project is not only to set people free from hair loss, but also protect their gut against this debilitating disease for the long run, and also shield it against memory loss or other brain-related diseases. Step 5. Your entire health and well-being start to improve. In just weeks, your hair will be fully regrown. Your hair will be shiny and thick, and you'll be protected against deadly gut disorders. And because this blend is so powerful, every single cell of your body will start to transform and rejuvenate. Question 2. Can I take Folicrex if I have allergies, or if I'm currently taking other supplements? We created Folicrex for all ages and medical conditions. The only side effect you'll see while using it will be the handsome hair you'll be able to enjoy every minute you live. Folicrex is non-invasive, risk-free, does not require any restrictive diets, and does not interfere with other supplements you may take. Folicrex addresses the real root cause of your hair loss in an extremely safe and natural way, and shields your gut so you can stay protected against microbial diseases. You should also know that Folicrex is produced using high-quality ingredients in an FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. This is why we can confidently say that Folicrex is safe to use. Now, as always, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this very moment, we strongly advise that you consult with your doctor first. Question 4. Why haven't I heard about this program before? This is the second time I'm posting this video online. There are some very powerful people working for the multi-billion-dollar pharma industry who are trying to prevent hair loss sufferers from seeing this video. They've been threatening me with expensive lawsuits ever since I released this information to the public because they know what this formula will do to their bottom lines. Luckily, this video can still be shared via email and WhatsApp. They've been fighting to ban this website from all major mainstream media websites. So please be warned, I don't know how much longer I can keep it online. Tomorrow when you come back, it might be gone. Question 5. Who is this program for? Folicrex is for people of all ages from 20 to 80 years old. This formula is 100% natural, non-invasive, and helps remove inflammation from your gut tissue and cells so you can easily and effortlessly break free from hair loss. This program is also good for people who've been experiencing early onset gray hair. As I told you before, hair loss isn't actually a condition itself. It's a symptom caused by an inflammation inside your gut, something that must not be ignored because it's the alert signal that your body sends that something else much more dangerous is happening. When you deal with the real cause of hair loss, you deal with any existing gut-related diseases. Question 6. How long does it take until I see the results? The beauty of this program is that it starts working immediately. Once you've taken your first capsule of Folicrex, the battle against hair loss has begun. Your hair will grow more and more as days go by, until it's completely restored in just a few weeks. Question 7. Can you tell me about the risk-free guarantee again? The more results we see, the more confident we are that Folicrex will work for you. To put your mind at ease, we decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee for every bottle of Folicrex. You have 2 full months to enjoy the amazing benefits of this formula. If you decide Folicrex is not for you, you can return what you haven't used in full for an immediate, no-questions-asked refund. It should come as no surprise, if I thought this was not going to work, I would not be offering such a deal. But the 154,000 men and women who have tried it are now living proof that Folicrex works for anyone, and it will work for you too. Question 8. How long will this still be available? I honestly don't know. History has shown us that the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical conglomerates are not going to sit aside and watch as their margins turn to dust. They'll spend as much money as they need in legal fees to shut down this site. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Wouldn't you pay a fancy lawyer $1 million when you know it will save you $50 million per year in profits? That being said, this may be your last chance to get Folicrex. The choice is up to you, of course, but I wouldn't wait until it's already too late and this website is removed from the internet. Also, you should know that the only place you can get Folicrex is right here on this page. Question 9. How do I get Folicrex? It's simple. Select one of the packages below and hit the buy button now. Try the program for 2 full months, and if you're unhappy with the results, send me an email and I'll make sure you get your investment back. I'm extremely confident that you won't be asking for a refund because this program has proven to work for people of all ages, and no matter how long they've been suffering from hair loss. So go ahead, click the button below, and be another story that Folicrex brings to the world.